Hey, everyone. This is your girl, Star.
And Lotus.
And this is the Lotus Star Show. Hey. Welcome, everyone. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, what's going on? I'm so glad we're crunk today.
I know.
Got a lot going on.
Whole bit of energy. I like it. I'm liking it.
I love it. You look cute, as always. I love that top. It is really adorable.
It's a dress. I really
is it?
Girl, yes.
It's cute.
It's a form-fitting dress too. I was like, this is new.
Yeah, it's cute. I like it. The dress that I wore in our last episode was my absolute favorite, and I had a hard time taking it off because I was like, I want to go out and I want to be seen, but there's nowhere to be seen here and that kind of stuff. So I gotta wait until I come up there to Charlotte with you and hang out. But you are in a new location. Where are you at?
I'm in Raleigh for the next 3 more days.
Okay.
So it's been tons of fun. Back to the grind of traveling for work. We haven't been able to do that for like the last 2 years. So it's good to be back in this element.
Yes.
So I enjoy actually staying in hotels and on somebody else's time,
I know that's right. You don't got to pay for it. I know. I'll say this. I miss those days, right? I definitely miss those days when I was staying like in the really nice hotels and I didn't have to pay for it. But nothing like your own bed.
Yeah. Now it gets very tiring. Like pretty much, I'm sure by tomorrow I'll be over it. But I went from one hotel and changed over to this new hotel, which is pretty much in the same area. So it's like a whole new bed.
Yeah.
And then by tomorrow, okay, can I get in my bed?
Yeah. You got a couple more days before you get home. Then you have the traveling that's going on. You have a lot going on. You have a lot going on, which actually brings us to our subject for today, right?
Yes.
So the reason why we're talking about this, I had a girlfriend of mine reach out to me and she said a couple of things and I had to stop her, right? She's like, Ashley, she's like, I feel lazy. She's like, my day's off. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay around. I'm exhausted. And I really had to stop her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's nothing about you that's lazy. You're a mother, number one, you're a mother. You got 3 kids, 3 really young kids. You're doing stuff for them. All of your kids are in activities. You work and, you're involved in the church. And I'm like, your entire day consists of everybody but you. It's okay to take a break. So with that being said, acknowledge the things that you do, right? Acknowledge how busy you are, acknowledge your accomplishments, but take your breaks as you need it, because if you don't take those breaks, it will drive you absolutely insane. Sure. And you are another one that is always on the go. You always got something going on. So how do you break that up a little bit?
I would say for me, I struggle with it. Right. I try to use my weekends for break if I'm not working during that time, and kind of incorporating those crystal days where I'm focusing on self-care. And for me, similar to your friend, that struggle with, but I have to give all this to everybody because they need me.
Right.
And I had to really shift my entire mindset. Like, I can't do that because who am I cheating but myself?
Right.
Absolutely. So what about you?
Not until the last year or so was I able to actually take a step back and be a woman outside of being a mother, right? Be Ashley outside of being a mom. And I will say this, within that amount of time, we're talking about since Devin was a baby up until a couple of years ago, I was running crazy. You're talking about I would get up and I would run to work, and it was taking me an hour to get to work because I'd had to drop this kid off at this place and then another one off somewhere else, then go to work, then get off of work. Then I had to, do the pickups, and then we had football practice, softball practice, we had Girl Scouts. And a lot of times it was all within the same season. So it was very difficult. And so for a long time, I did not know what that meant to actually sit still, sit in my thoughts. And it goes back to the last couple of episodes that we've been talking about, where we've been talking about self-care and taking care of yourself and finding those moments. And while it's great that we find those moments and we know what we're doing, we have to figure out, why do we need to take those moments? And that's really important that we figure that out. There was a point in time I almost went crazy because of my hectic schedule. And I really didn't find myself until I went back home, until I went back to Pennsylvania to be around family and be around friends that were saying to me, Ashley, you're doing too much. And even then, I still didn't understand what that meant. I really did not understand what that meant. It didn't take until I came back. And I actually had a friend, and it goes back to what we've been talking about, building up your circle, making sure you have good people that surround you. I had a friend of mine, really, really good friend of mine, and I'll never forget, I'm walking around in Target and I'm thinking about all this stuff that I need to do. And she's like, stop. And I'm like, what? She's like, no, I need you to stop. I need you to stop where you're at. I need you to stop in your tracks. She went down a whole long list of accomplishments that I did in 6 months that I haven't even realized that I did, right? And she made me stop, and she made me acknowledge everything that I was doing. And if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would be in the mindset that I am right now,
Yeah. And you brought up a good point about acknowledging those accomplishments. I think so often we go through like the hustle and bustle of life, like you said, you being a mom and then also working and doing all that, where you don't even stop to think about, what have I done? What have I accomplished, even in the last week or so? And one thing that I used to do, and I wish I did it more often, was to write like a grateful journal. And then you can see those small pieces of things that you actually was doing, or things that you accomplished, things that really make you feel good, to help with even alleviating that pressure that we put ourselves under, because it's always ourselves that we do it to.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said the grateful journal, because I started doing that. I started doing that last year. Did we talk about that? I don't think we have.
No.
We haven't. I have a grateful journal, and I go in, those moments where I'm feeling down, I go in and I write in, and I'm grateful for this, and I accomplished this today and that, and things like that. But the other thing is, we might not see what we're accomplishing, but other people are seeing, other people are noticing, right? So this past week, I'm talking to one of the managers, right? I'm talking to one of my managers, and I didn't even realize that I was being noticed, but I was being noticed. And when I had a conversation with her, she's like, you're one of the top agents. And she's like, and I always look forward to speaking with you. It's far and few between, but I do look forward to talking to you. And I was like, really? And then she goes on this long list of things that I've done. And again, I still have a problem with my own acknowledgements. I still have that problem, but I'm getting better at it. And you might not see what you're doing, but trust me, somebody else is seeing it, whether it's at home or, it's your family or your friends, or it might be somebody on social media that's just watching you to see what you're going to do and what you're going to post, because you're being an inspiration to them. And I've had that happen to me so many times. So I don't know about you. I've gotten quite a few people that'll say stuff about the podcast because they're listening, they'll make little comments here and there. It's like, oh, you're watching. Thank you.
Yeah, I get those often too. Even my coworkers, they're like, oh, so I was telling them before dinner, I was like, yeah, we're going to go record this evening. They're like, so what are you going to talk about? I was just asking all these questions. Like, you can tell they were genuinely interested in what it is that we actually do, which is pretty awesome, because I actually like to separate work and life. So it was weird for it to mesh like that, but I thought it was pretty awesome. But I do agree, a lot of people listen, which is great. We thank y'all.
Thank you so much. But no, people are paying attention. They're paying attention to what you're doing, even when you're not looking, and that's the positive of it, right? And this is why it's so important that you're looking inside yourself to see what it is that you're doing and how you can make changes and be the best person that you absolutely can be. Like I said, my girlfriend, when I sat down and I talked to her, like, I get on my friends, I get on people that I love, right? If I genuinely love you, if I genuinely care about you, I'm going to get on you about stuff that, I'm going to correct you on certain things. That was one of those that I felt like I needed to correct her on, because it's like, you are everything. Like you are absolutely everything. There's nothing about you at all that's lazy. And, it was one of those that it kind of hurt to hear her say that. You know what I mean? And I had to take, It does. It does. You know, it hurts when your friends are feeling some type of way and there's not much you can do about it. And I kind of had to stop myself because I mean, you know me, when I go in, I go in. And I started to go in on her and I was like, let me take a step back because she's not feeling her best in this moment.
Yeah.
And I don't need to add any more to her. So I checked on her a few days later and she's like, I'm fine. She's like, it was just a moment. It's like, okay, we're allowed to have those. You can have those. That's all right. So
I've been having a lot of those moments. A lot of them, especially with my whole thesis and everything not really going the way that I wanted it to, and really putting it on myself. Like I failed myself and putting that added pressure on myself. Like, oh, am I going to be able to do this? Being okay. My biggest struggle now is being okay if it doesn't happen. But back to what you've said is acknowledging those small accomplishments, like acknowledging the fact, hey, I can celebrate that I have 5 new responses from my evaluation and no one's like totally not reading my email, and celebrating those
that's
small
always fun, right?
huh?
That's fun when nobody reads your emails and you're like, I did this, right? Did
Oh my
anybody
gosh, or when they're not responding to my evaluation, like people, I need y'all to respond. And I'm like, okay, now I just started this little tally system. I need 45. I still have a lot to go.
Right.
Because I only have 18, but I'm trying to still celebrate it.
You have 18 more than what you had when you first started, right?
Exactly.
And it goes back to, like I said, you know, even with you, you're the first one in your family to graduate college, right? The first one. You're the first one in your family to go for your master's. So I'm really proud of you and I'm proud of everything that you do. And you should be proud of everything you do as well. I don't know anybody else that will stop what they're doing to go and help somebody else, even though that they have their own goal. And you're the only person I know that will do that. I know when Amaria calls you, you are on the way. You stop what you're doing. You know, when she's calling, hey, I need help with homework, you will stop what you're doing. So you're the only person I know that will do something like that. And you do have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge everything that you do because that's what makes you you and that's what makes you great.
And it's a struggle. You know, I feel like, especially us as Black women, we feel like we have to carry it all.
Yes.
And take on all that pressure. Like, okay, if I'm not doing it, like you said about your friend saying that she felt like she was being lazy. No, it's a stigma, but it's okay for us to rest. It's okay for us to put a pause on what's going on. And you have little kids, but little kids can easily learn how to make a PB&J sandwich to feed themselves, find some snacks, know how to find some apples, whatever it is, so that you can do, I think, especially for y'all as moms, finding that time to rest. And I know for you actually being a single mom, it makes it even like harder.
It does. And I'm truly blessed with the kids that I have. It takes me back to when I was studying for my exam, right? Amari has seen how hard I was working. She's seen everything that I was doing and she really did step up. There was days where I'm at it and now I'm to a point where I'm going back to continuing education so I can renew my license and stuff like that. But I'll never forget, she would get up and cook breakfast in the morning. You know what I mean? She would see me, at the computer. Here I am, I'm studying. I got to knock this out, because that was a trying time, making sure that I got this license, that I passed that exam. Yeah. And it was a team effort that everybody helped with. There was mornings I'd come downstairs and the kids would have the house clean from top to bottom. And it's like, oh, thank you so much. But it's also about being transparent too, right?
You said a word.
It is about being transparent. I used to try and shield my kids from so much. I used to try to shelter them. I didn't want you to see mommy cry. I didn't want you to see mommy struggle. At this point, it is what it is, right? You know whether I'm crying or not, whether I'm upset or not, what situation we're in, what we're dealing with. But when I decided to let go of all of that and be more transparent, hey, mommy's working on this, mommy has a goal and mommy has to meet the goal. I think it made it a lot easier for them. And especially for Amaria as well, because she was right there. She was on me like anybody else. Did you study today? Did you do it? Did you get it right? Yeah. And even like when I passed my exam, they were, I think she texted me nonstop all the way. I went to Greenville to take my exam, nonstop. You okay? You got it, so.
Oh, that was when they were at the house with me. I
Mhm.
remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
It was like
And you got shot. Yeah.
constant check-in.
Yeah. No, but she does that though. And I think that has a lot to do with her seeing a lot of our struggles. And like I said, me just getting to a point where, you know what, if I can't be vulnerable with my kids, especially my daughter, then who else am I going to be vulnerable with? Who else, and it's not that I want you to see every little thing, but at the same time, I need you to understand that this is very real because, in 20 years, when you got your own kids, you're going to understand what it is that we're going through, So that was my big thing, but definitely making sure that you take time, acknowledge what it is that you do, take the breaks that you need. It took me a while to do that, to take my breaks. It took me a long time. I still struggle with it,
I think it's an ongoing struggle, as much as we try to shift that mindset of being okay to rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hard for us to do, but we legit need it.
We do. You know what I did this morning? Nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I laid in bed all morning and it felt so good. I just laid there, Mari came in there like 4 or 5 times. We can watch TV together. I mean, we can share, we could do the Disney sharing things, so we could do that. She's like, yeah, I don't want to. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just laid in my bed. That's it. I just laid in my bed and scrolled my news feed and it felt good to do it because I'm back on the grind tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm back on the grind tomorrow. And
that's how I felt about today. Same deal. Like I wasn't in a rush to go get breakfast downstairs. I was like, if I do, I don't. I can get some coffee and my protein shake and I'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. And I had even going to a whole different scenery was restful and very peaceful for me, just to kind of reset, like, okay, this is a whole new wave, whole new thing, no real pressure. If I get it done, I get it done, whatever I needed to work on while I was there. But it was so refreshing, like so refreshing. Yes. And even I think getting away can be beneficial.
Absolutely. I will say this, like with Mike and his wife Akiri, they're so amazing. I was talking to them the other day, and their baby is on the way. And I told them that when they have the baby, I know what it's like being a new mom. This is her first baby. I'm like, so I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna help out, things like that. That's the least I can do, right? You guys are family. I'll come and I'll help. She doesn't have any siblings. What I love about them is we were talking, Mike's mom's going to go down for like a couple of weeks. And I think he said his kids are going to be there. I was like, so when am I coming? And I'm on speakerphone and you hear him and his wife, whenever you want. And I'm like, I love them. I adore them so much. So it's one of those things, when I don't feel like being in my house, I have places to go, whether I come up there to you and I'm just like, hey, I'm coming up for the day, or whether I decide to go down to Florida, I'm hanging out there for a week or so. Getting away is a great thing to do. Getting away, just getting out of your own home and doing something, even if it's just for a night. Even if it's for a night, it helps.
That's what I want to get to, that point where I can just be like, you know what? I'm just going to go away, get a room for the night, chill, relax, and come back to reality, but at least just kind of regroup. And actually, one of my line sisters used to do it all the time. Yeah. Why don't you just sleep in your own bed? She's like, but I need to reset. Like, this is my way of resetting.
Yeah.
And it took a while for me to understand it, but she's been a heavy proponent or supporter of we need breaks and we need rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to do it once in a while, when the kids would go with family members and they'd hang out there. I'd, take a little bit of time for myself. My big thing is going to the beach, and we've talked about that a million times. I'm going to be on somebody's beach this summer. Yeah. Whether I'm swimsuit ready or not, I'm going to be on that beach. But, that is the important thing. So taking those little breaks here and there, acknowledge your accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's much, much needed. So what have you been doing in Raleigh this whole time?
Today was fun.
What'd you do?
It was fun. I went again to the library to work on my thesis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just focusing on one area of it.
That's nerd of you.
Very nerdy.
It's very nerdy of you.
Let me think about
I
how
went to a library today.
do my statistics, but I also felt hella old because it was a whole bunch of like young grad students or young students walking in. I was like, yeah, I'm totally the old person in here with my computer. But it was cool. It was cool.
Was the library? Was it nice?
Yesterday, I went to a nursery and got 2 new plants.
I saw it. I saw it on your IG.
I was
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
girl,
All my plants are dead. They all just died.
it was so cold out there.
Was it?
Yeah. It was like this sudden wind chill, and I was rushing to get out of the office. So I left my jacket in Monroe.
Oh, so you have no jacket.
I had a jean jacket, I had some sweatshirts, and I had my raincoat that was thin.
Oh no.
So I was freezing yesterday. Because it was raining and it was cold and it was windy at that nursery.
Oh no.
No. So
did you stop and get a jacket? No, you didn't buy one.
I did buy one. I was like, I don't need that jacket. I can wait. So I waited until I need to return it because my program assistant had to come up anyways because she's going to the training too. So she just brought the jacket with me because it was at work.
Yeah.
So that worked out. So now I have a jacket. But the nursery was nice. It was huge. It was a huge nursery.
Is this a trip that we need to make? Is this what this is saying? We need to make a trip to Raleigh?
Oh yeah, girl. There's a whole bunch of nurseries there. We gotta definitely take a trip. But I got an aloe. It's a huge aloe too. Hold on. I have to fix this little thing. It's like hanging. I'm just gonna pop this off.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, it's a huge aloe plant and my little snake plant because I am 100% sure that my other snake plant is dead at the house and I keep watering it, but it's a cactus, so it's just kind of standing, but it's brown. I was like, there's no way you're still alive after all this. But and I won't get any new snake plant babies because they pop up like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, that plant must be dead. So this is replacing it. My little new snake plant baby is replacing that. And then today I went to, it's a Black owned plant shop called Zen Succulent. It was nice. She does terrarium. It's a terrarium bar. She has tons of air plants, which I know are your favorite.
You laughing at me?
I was like, I should get one for Ashley just because.
My poor little plants. All my babies have died.
Yeah.
I got you standing. I'm just like, yeah. You know what? I think what it is, I thought about it. I keep my house too cold. I think that's really what the problem is. Because me, I like for it to freeze in my house.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the problem is. So it's going to be one of those, wait till I get a house and I have a sunroom and have plants in there everywhere. But I think that's what the problem is. Because I'm like, you know what? I keep it cold in here. Even during the winter, I don't like to turn my heat on.
I like my temp on 72. That's why I try to.
I'll be keeping them on 60, 67.
Oh.
67 in there. All year long, 67 degrees. Feels good to me. So
by the window. But that's the thing. You have it by the window. Most of your plants are by the window.
No, because you remember I had that whole corner, that whole shelf that was full of them on the other side. Yeah. So I think that's what it is, but
it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. But I've tried 2 new food spots. I have a ramen noodle type deal.
Ramen noodle?
Yeah.
Is it ramen or is it pho?
It was ramen
Okay.
with the broth. It was really good. And it
I'm
was,
looking for a good spot.
it was, and it was packed. Like it was
Was it?
packed. Yeah. I was like, that's how you know it's good. And
Yeah.
then yesterday, all these are like places we went walking to, me and my coworker. The other place, it was a hot pot. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of those. I've been
Yeah.
looking and like there's one here and there's one here and I'm like, do I want to go to this? But I don't want to go by myself, you know?
Yeah, you have to have people because honestly, the pot she and I shared, we couldn't even finish it. It was so much. But it was.
See, I go to, the only person I have to go to that stuff with is Amaria. And she's like OCD, so she's looking at everything like she doesn't like to go out to eat anymore. Yeah, she don't want to go out to eat anywhere. She looks up like,
but it's an experience.
I know. I gotta find somebody to experience it with. I ain't got nobody. There's nobody here. I don't have anybody.
Like, I'm down for the experience. You let me know because there's one in Charlotte too, so I'm trying to get to. We can do that. But I think that's a part of resting too, or like taking that time and removing that pressure is, step outside the box. Try something.
Oh, bro, I'm all about that now. I will step somewhere for some food in a heartbeat. There's this nice little Indian spot down the street from my house that I went to, and Amari's like, "You're gonna?" I'm like, "I am. It looks good, so I'm gonna try it."
At least.
And it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, every bit of it.
Yeah. Because you don't try it, then hey, you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, this is cool. All right.
Are we on time?
I think so. Yeah.
All
right. You got parting words for this?
I'm gonna leave that one to you. You got that one. You got this one.
All right. So parting words, taking breaks, do them. Remove the
great advice. I love that advice. Do it. Take your break.
Remove the pressure.
It's like the best advice ever.
Yeah. That was sound advice. Do it.
That was. Take your breaks.
Yeah, take your breaks. Yeah, you deserve it. Don't let anybody or anything make you feel like you don't deserve to take a break. We all need it. It's okay for us to rest.
Absolutely.
And the world keeps going.
And to add on to that, if you're a mom, so what? You're going to be a mom tomorrow, the day after, and the year after that. You can take your break. It's okay. Oh, that was the big one that I heard. You're a mother. Okay, I'm a mother. And what's your point? I still am a person. So yes, take your breaks, like Crystal said, because you deserve it. That's right.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. Boo.
Remember, loving thyself now. That means you got to take those breaks.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That was our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing, because we know you share. We know you share. We know you subscribe. We see it. We appreciate you. All right. Bye.
Bye. Peace, y'all.